Alright, what's up guys? My name is Jesus. I got top 4 at this the first regional of this year. The LA regional, I got top 4, and I won this really sick mat here. Looks real nice. I like these little symbols too, they look really cool. And also got this really nice deck box here. Looks pretty chill. I never had one of these deck boxes. I always run like those really cheap ones because I just like saving money. But also got like a standing cup with like a Bluetooth speaker on it. I will be using it, but I'm not so sure about the speaker, but I'll be using it. But, oh yeah, and I won playing Fiendsmith Dracotail. All my opponents were really surprised when I actually showed them the Fiendsmith portion of it. So, needless to say, I just had a lot of fun playing this deck list because I love playing Dracotail. It's a very interactive and fun deck. And it also fits the criteria for me of like actually being a deck that can go second. Like, obviously, you just have a higher chance of doing well going second, but like because like a lot of these decks are like very linear, like for example like DDD, like it's hard playing going second with them. So I just appreciate that Dracotail can go second, and it's just a deck that I like a lot. And I just spent a lot of time not really just theory crafting how to play Fiendsmith Dracotail in particular, just because I love Fiendsmith as well. Fiendsmith is a great engine. I was so happy when Lacrimosa came back, and I've been trying a bunch of different ways of trying to make Fiendsmith work with like magical muskets and all that stuff. And I found out it's probably just the best version of Fiendsmith right now. Maybe it's not known, but this is the best one that I came up with. All right, well, I guess let's get into the deck profile. And going over the deck list, we have the standard ratios. We have 3/5 mana, right? Go to the deck, obviously, just crazy powerful card. Konami, please do not hit this card. Please hit something else. It's a very good card. Almost equally as good as Malulu. Great card. Coming up next, Lucius, obviously, just all the standard ratios. Mismatched pans, mismatched Urgulas and pans, and then what the classic one Frixel, I've thought about maybe not playing Frixel, but it's just another name. It's just really important to play. Same with 3 Ketu, 3 Rahu, and then 3 the trap cards. All standard, just a standard list, right? Just everything you need. You play the extra regular against more Dracotails, right? Really good against them. Basic list, nothing really special about it, other than the fact that the cards are just fun to play with, And then obviously coming into the surprise portion of this list. Coming into the Fiendsmith ratios, we have 2 engraver and then 1 inside. We have 1 lacrima, 1 track, and then 1 Larry. I didn't want this deck to become too pile because then I couldn't see the right hand traps. And then so I was only able to squeeze in just enough names to sometimes see them. The thing is that the problem with the Fiendsmith engine in this deck is that the Fiendsmiths don't offer you a way to fusion summon, so I wanted to limit them, but not just like 1 engraver, for example, but I wanted to play another engine that could help me get into the Fiendsmiths. But since the Fiendsmiths don't have an inherent way to fusion summon without like playing like a bunch of bricks in the main deck, right, with like Arrow Eater and other stuff like that, so I felt like I wanted to play a small Fiendsmith package, and then an engine that could bridge into Fiendsmiths, right? So I mean, and obviously Fiendsmith, I love Fiendsmith, right? Fiendschmidt as well. It's just the engine I love playing everywhere, and I can't wait until Elvenos comes out, so I'll definitely be trying that out. But yeah, I love Fiendsmith. Now, since Lacrima isn't here, you can choose not to play it, but if you do choose to not play Lacrima, then you have to play a Necrocrypt Princess. And for me at the time when I was building this deck list, I didn't think that I had enough extra deck space to warrant a Necrocrypt Princess, so I chose to play Lacrima. It can get a little bit sticky with your normal summons, but a lot of times, the only time that I drew this, I didn't have a normal summon either way, so it came out. Drawing an extra normal summon isn't the end of the world, but maybe they have like another way to fusion summon. But yeah, the Fiendsmiths were pretty nice. I like I would still play Lacrima in it. I think it's still pretty good. I think this ratios I like. Maybe you can try to squeeze in an extra engraver here. Maybe cut out one of the edgems, but everything else here is nice. You can also experiment with like something larger maybe, but you just need the fusion names. You need a way to fusion summon, right? And that actual way to fusion summon. So the whole way that this deck kind of like glues together, right? Because it's like almost no correlation. We have the edgems, our little fusion engine here. We have 3 edgem chain, 2 patchwork, and then 1 poly. this engine is just I love it, right? It's very fun to play with, and it gets you more ways if you do summon, right? That's why we're playing three. That's one of the reasons we're playing three traps as well. Or I'm playing three traps, and good monsters, good fusion material, right? And then more ways to fusion summon, and then I use Poly in order to try to make Magnum Reliever, which is the bridge between Dracotail and Fiendsmith, right? Or from Dracotail into Fiendsmith. So you kind of have a lot of times when you see this, like it gives you so much just in-engine power to be able to do more plays, and then you're able to just always kind of go into the Fiendsmith. Like whenever I see these, like unless they full-lost me, it's just basically always a way into Fiendsmith if I have another way to Fiendsmith. But if I don't, yeah, and it just gives you so much power. And some of you instantly might have been wondering why I only play one Poly. Obviously, these are spells and you want to limit them as much as possible. But a fun fact about Magnum the Reliever, and that's what makes it actually such a really nice bridge, is that he recycles this and he just puts it on the bottom of the deck to give you a draw. And the only real problem is with one Poly is that when you're going second, you're probably not gonna be able to make Magnum Reliever, or maybe they draw you, for example. But I like one Poly. I don't think I'd play two. Maybe you could cut. I think the smallest version of this package you could play is this. You can still get a draw of Magnum Reliever, but then your cards don't work. But I don't think I would do this either though, because you need more ways of Fiendsmith. So yeah, I like the pack. I like the engine count. I like the amount of cards I played. I think it was pretty good. It was pretty nice. I liked it.
Did the 3 HM chain feel bricky?
No, but I did side some of them out going second just because I wanted more non-engine. It's kind of funny actually. I'd side out some of the Fiendsmith cards or all the Fiendsmith cards and maybe some of the Patchwork cards going second. So I would kind of become like a hand trap Dracotail variant when I was going second in particular. Or if I didn't have any good hand traps, then I'd keep the Fiendsmith engine in. But depending on the matchup, you know. All right, well, that's the edge of the cards. Non-engine. It is a bit of a power deck, right? And you're not able to play that much. I'm only on 10, but I have 3 mismatched the rarities of Fulos, right? Really cool. The fact that they're mismatched makes them better. We have three Ash Blossom, not mismatched, or different artworks mismatched and then PCR randomly, and then 2 Bell, and then 1 Magnuma. I've been seeing some people put this in a side deck. I'll maybe experiment with that, but damn, this card just feels so good to draw, man. Like, especially if you're playing against, the one time I did draw this especially that are really well, so I played Mitsurugi, and you just loop it, and you can just search Malulu, Pan, or Urgula. And even against Dracotail, you can just banish a Malulu, for example, and then just search Urgula, and then that's pretty good against them, right? Because one of the only ways to get rid of Flame is by using Malulu, which just search, and then if you already have like Fragmenta or Malulu, you can just search Urgula, which can pop the Flame, right? Really good. And in particular, I feel like this deck was kind of just there just because I wanted to have fun. I love both the engines, but you know, Fiendsmith gives Dracotail kind of like a boost in power. Obviously, it's the end boards and all that other stuff, which I thought it was kind of necessary because like all the Mitsurugi stuff going around and stuff. But going into our extra deck, we have the Dracotail cards. 3 Arthalion, 1 Gulamel, 1 Secretarion, 1 Spirit, 1 Seals. Obviously, you gotta play 3 Arthalion, at least 1 Gulamel, at least 1 Secretarion for all the combos and enablers, right? There were some fusions I missed a little bit, like Furley Regius and Mysterion, but this, I mean, summoning Arthalion is just always good. So the other ones, like, it would have been nicer to have more fusion names, but didn't really come up enough. To put them in. This here, I think it was a bit logical. There's a good logic as to why we should play these 2 cards, right? Because if you don't see any of your patchworks and you're just playing pure Dracotail, you kind of need this in order to get not ran over by like Mitsurugi Yumi, right? To have like more disruption. That being said, I never went into either of these 2 cards. All the time I had only pure Dracotail hands. I would always just get hand trapped, so I didn't have enough engine to even make these anyway. And when I had enough. When I had like the patchworks, I could just make Fiendsmith. So I never actually made these in a tournament at all. Secretarion definitely came up, right? It was good, right? I revived Lulu with that one. But yeah, they didn't come up. I think I need a bit more testing to decide if I should cut these and put in like Mysterion or Philly Regis instead. Maybe you don't need spirit, right? Because this can get you into seals, but I'm not so sure. More testing would be needed done. And then obviously we have our bridge here, Magnan Reliever, the goat himself, right? You just use Poly to go into him, and then he just draws you a card, and then your edge imps work another second wave, right? There was one time I summoned them and I just used Requiem, and Requiem is already one life fiend's already like more than 8,000 damage, right? So I OTK'd. I think I was gonna lose that game, and because he had better grind, he had like a bunch of cards in his hand against Mitsurugi, and I think I was probably gonna end up losing, but I just killed him before, so W Magnet Reliever, I guess, right? So Fiendsmith's just standard, right? One Requiem, one Sequence, one Agnum Day, one Lacrimosa, and one Desiree. This is just here. I mean, this you need now. If you don't play Princess, there's a bunch of different ways you can play the engine, right? But you definitely don't. There's a bunch of different ways to play the engine. But now you don't need Princess. You just play this instead. Because Lacrimosa is just more versatile, so you don't have to play. You don't have to play Necrocricker Princess. You should still play Necrocricker Princess. So you're playing like a higher Fiendsmith, higher Light Fiend count. But for like a very small engine like this, Lacrimosa. You can make this with like track as well. If you want to have like more grind, it depends what you want, right? Because you can keep the sequence on the field and bring back Arthalion to make SP. You play a bit more into Nib that way, but you can use this to make SP, right? And to also have, or you could just use track to affect the engrave, and then fusion summon to make Lacrimosa, and then reborn back the engraver to make obviously Wave King Caesar, right? Speaking of him, he's right here, right? Very, 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 very good card. Maybe should have been bad, just maybe. But Lacrimosa makes him, right. And then if you go for sequence, then you have another body, use Arthalion to make SP. And that's pretty... I think the SP is worth to commit to because, it's just overall just very good to like get another extra a yummy name off the board or anything like that. And then Agnum Day is here to pair well with these two cards because you need Agnum Day in order to do for the Light Fiend combo, in order to do 8,000 damage, right? And then you just link it off like SP, and then you burn your opponent to death. That came up 2 times where OTK my opponent with Agnum Day and Lacrimosa. Unfortunately though, Desiree did not come up. I didn't summon it, and I don't play the trap card. I thought it was because most of the time, like Wave King Caesar is already just a strong card, and you already have some protection against spells with flame. And Wave King Caesar is just so strong that I never actually did make this array. So maybe you could actually cut this. But if you can't OTK, or if there's too many things, if your opponent has too much interruptions, going into Desiree just to clear more back rows and have it negate. Also pretty good as well, but it didn't come up surprisingly. And obviously the flex spot, one SP, just you need it, especially if you're playing Fiendsmiths. You can just make this really easily, and yeah, it's just go do card, right? Obviously, great card. That's the extra deck done. Coming into the side deck, we have the Silver Bullet for Mitsurugi, 3 mismatched Droll and Lockbirds. This guy right here helped me, so that every time I would go second against Mitsurugi, I would always just draw this card. And I went against 4 Mitsurugis, and this card kind of glued to me when I was going against them, so I was really good against them, right? And then we have Perulias for, yummy, basically, Same with Nib, also hits Rogue, right? Nib, just in case for more Yummy or any other decks that just play into it, 2 Meows, I wanted to respect Malice a little bit, and also a little bit of Mitsurugi as well. The 3rd Bell, just in case I'm going against Mitsurugi or Dracotail for any trap card. Extra copy of Engraver. If you're going first, I just side it in, right? You just have another Wave Fiends of starter. Also mismatched. 1 Callbletter Grave for going first, and then 1 Cross-Out Designator. I don't know how I feel about Callbletter Grave as much, but Cross-Out Designator, great in the mirror match against Dracotail. My last game, I won with this. I crossed off Imena, and they couldn't do anything, so that was pretty good. Cross out, Callbletter Grave, I sided in, never saw it. I don't know if I still play it. I know I definitely play Designator though for the mirror match. Yeah.
Did you want to give any shout-outs?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out my little silly friend here. He's the real reason why I drew Droll against Mitsurugi, and he's the reason why I just did perform so well at this tournament here. Yeah. I love this guy, dude. Look at him, he's so cute, dude. I love, he reminds me of seals. I love seals, bro. I love pugs, bro. It's just so cute. Little animals, man. I also want to shout out the Yugioh Club at UCI. I'm vice president here, and our president is really good. And it's very rare you're able to call a place home. And the Yugioh Club at UCI, everybody's just so nice here, and we have a bunch of inside jokes. Everything's so good here, right? This seal promised me this win, bro. This top, it was so good. And also, I'd like to shout out all my opponents as well. My opponents, all of them are really chill. There's that branded guy. He was really cool as well. No small misunderstanding there, but it was pretty good. I also had this really nice Dracotail opponent I played at the end. It was really chill. Overall, the tournament experience was just really nice. It was a great tournament. It was just a great event. And my first regional top as well. I got my invite to Nats one time, but that doesn't technically count as a regional top, right? So this is my first top 4. I don't know if there'll be any more in the future. I got really lucky. You have to in order to top, but you also have to be really good. I don't know if I'm that, but I don't know. All I know is that I had a good time, and that's really all that matters, to be honest with you. So, LA regional is my place to go, I guess. And so is YCS Anaheim, but I guess me and my city friend will see you later, man.
Congrats on the win, Jesus.
Thank you, brother, man.